more hours of work for a higher paying job, and I'm not saying he
My
is.
parents do the same thing. They met at work. They do the same thing.
That's pretty dope. So now, so your mom is working, cooking, and cleaning.
Yes.
Correct.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Sounds like that's what the standard should be for women then.
Sounds like you're crazy.
No, because
Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I'm your host, Mike, and we are looking for 1,000 subscribers. That is the goal. And today we're back with 8 at the table. The title is Man Earns Less Than His Girlfriend and Still Pays the Rent Because He's a Sucker. Don't do that. Let's go ahead and get in and see what we're talking about. But right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, no, that's a dumb idea.
Standard, because that's the standard for me, but I see every day that's not the standard for most people.
no, I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying, but that's the traditional.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Now I do. Well, obviously, 2023 is not always the
It's
same.
different. Yeah.
But hell, then what is this? Okay, how about this? Ready? Because we can't go 50-50, otherwise it's a roommate. That's a standard today.
it
So
is.
now he's doing 80, she's doing 20. They both making decent money. So is she more selfless or is she more selfish? Because she's working, he's working. We can take kids out of this. He's paying 80%. She's paying 20%. If they're making relatively close to the same amount of money, he's every single month more selfless and she's every single month more selfish. Unless she's providing money in different ways to build them, which is usually not the case.
Is he selfless?
Yeah, he's selfish and she's selfish. He got it right. But the problem is that this is, and guys, you're in a situation, you lose. 100%, you lose. And number one, because you're living beyond your means. Now, because that's why you need her 20%. So my advice to you, and I wouldn't do this with a girlfriend. I don't care if we are 50-50, whatever. It's no, I don't believe in living girlfriends. Because you lose in that scenario. You got too much at risk. It's not worth it. If you're not married, don't live together. You guys, I understand that today the economy's hard and inflation and everything else like that. Live below your means. If you got to get in, if you got to have a roommate, then do that. But don't move in with your girl. There's too many problems that are associated with that. Let's keep going.
Or is that because you said also that that's like kind of an innate person thing?
It's a
for man.
society standard.
It's a societal standard. Okay.
Yeah, because he can't get away with not doing it.
Expectation. So are we really going to hold expectations against the man, against the woman, and be like, oh, she's selfish,
It's an expectation because their expectation, in the words of Aaron, is a choice.
I just feel like if that's your house,
Personal
dynamic,
choice.
that the man is, 80, the woman's 20, and is keeping 80% of her money. She doesn't even need to ask for anything. No, like, can I get money to get my hair, nails? Can I get grocery money or anything?
Nothing.
I mean, she's good to take care of all of that without having to be like gimme.
Apparently those things aren't important because paper towels by themselves.
And then I'll add to that, as a woman,
$20 for
as a
fucking pack
woman,
for the month.
Wasn't the guy buying that before?
as a woman, when I was in the situation where I was paying, it was like 80-20, if that, and that's the environment I thrive in. I shop luxury sometimes. So if I go and I'm getting something luxurious, I'm gonna get something for my man. I'm gonna plan vacations. There's gonna be trips. It's gonna be like outings. So there are different ways to like make up for that. I don't want to get into.
Unless you're doing that every month, that's a lose situation for the guy.
In a
Yeah, I'm not
traditional
mad at that.
setting, I actually think
I'm
that
not mad
is
at that.
more so the case. Meaning, the man.
Uses majority of the money to pay the bills.
No, yeah. So the man, yes,
She uses
he's
it for
making,
leisure.
Y'all listen. What I'm saying is that
Yeah, exactly.
in a traditional sense, that a lot of what we see when there's a woman who's keeping her money, it's not just for her. It's
Never.
for the house. It's for the kids. It's for the investments. It's for the everything else, repairs in the house, furnishing the house, paper towels, food, dishes, like everything else. The man is setting a foundation. He's given the basics. You need a house. That's a basic. You need electricity. That's a basic. You need internet. That's a basic.
Running water.
But what about everything else?
I love
the
that.
First of all-
the food doesn't buy itself.
No.
The clothes don't wash and fold and put away themselves. The laundry detergent doesn't buy itself. All these things, like I don't know how much shit
Yeah, but
costs
you
in your
gotta start-
hold on, no, stop. I don't know how much shit costs in your house, but it costs a lot of
It costs a lot
money
in my house as
to
well.
manage a home. It costs a lot of money. Like even just to have somebody come and change out a light bulb in my ceilings. That's
What was the key word there? In my ceiling. Last time I checked, Aaron, this one, Aaron, is actually married. Like I said, this works when you're in a marriage, right? It don't work when it's your girlfriend. Because at any moment, y'all going to break up, and then it's like, well, what do you have to show for that? Nothing. You've been carrying a woman for all this time, and she just walk up and leave. You've got nothing to show for it. That's why I say, don't live with your girlfriend. That's just a waste.
$85.
First of all, that's crazy. Now, what I'll tell you this.
You
is-
seen my ceilings.
Yeah, yeah, duh.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but still,
Somebody.
it's still crazy though. So what I will say is this: first of all, let's throw one thing out here, because we got to take it. Erin loves to do this bits and pieces and try to, like I'm a lawyer too now. I've been dealing with her for long enough to understand this. So first and foremost, personal choice. Okay. You deciding to decor this house every 3 months is a personal choice.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. It is not a necessity like water. It is not a necessity like shelter. You want new plates?
No.
Okay, buy new plates. But that is just for your own, that's for your own leisure. And I think,
It's not.
yes, it
You
is.
don't appreciate nice things.
That's not the point.
It is.
You're not understanding. The woman who is working is also is not doing housework as often as the ones that aren't. So she's like, I'm working, you're working, we're splitting the cleaning duties. So he's most likely cleaning and washing and folding his own clothes. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank you.
if not, she might be doing that, but maybe if she cooks, he's doing the dishes. Now the house duties are getting split.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because she's at work too. Because she can't go to work and come home and have to do everything at the house as well. She's nobody's slave.
Why
right?
are you standing in that voice?
Because you-
accurate, correct. She can't.
Because right then.
She
So now
can't.
so now
Say it in
look.
normal
So now
voice.
he's
Yeah.
going 50-50 in the house plus paying
As he should
80-20
be.
on the bills.
No, he's
But-
not.
So he's really going, if we had to add him up, what's that?
Oh my God.
130 to 50, and I don't even know what
No
that
man
ratio
is
is.
going
But he's
80-20 and
80% still
50-50
more
at
doing.
home.
Thank you.
Huh?
No man is
Please
80-20
give us a
financially and then 50-50 at home. No man
I
is
just feel
doing
like
that.
it's 2023, and this is why Rico has the, perspective that he has. And he's a little young too, y'all. He's a little shy of 30. So I feel like this dynamic in the house. I've grown
You're shaming because of his age. Man has a valid point.
up watching my parents in the house. So what we're talking about this 80-20.
What did your dad do?
My
go.
dad,
Probably
my dad
nothing.
works and he
That's it.
pays the bills.
What's your mom
My
do?
dad
That's what
doesn't
my
do
dad did
grocery.
as
My
well.
dad doesn't.
What does
clean.
your mom do?
My mom also works, not as much hours as my dad, but she comes home, she cooks, she does the cleaning, she does the laundry.
She manages the
But
home.
she does not.
She manages
And
the
nurses
house.
the
now, but
children,
now we're
make sure
okay,
homework
and
is
this is what I
done.
want to make sure that this is understood, Amanda. Like I don't like to get lost in conversation.
Okay, I'm here with
The
you.
initial thing that I was speaking about is the amount of hours of work, right? It's 160 hours. So if your mother is working a part-time job, and we'll say that's 20 hours of work, okay?
Yeah, she work a real job.
She said she does not work as much as my dad. If your
My
dad is...
dad comes home later than my mom. My mom comes back home.
No, nope, that has nothing to do with what I said. I speak English. Who works more hours? I didn't care about your schedule. Who works more hours?
No, but
But-
no. The
Who
clarification.
works more hours, Amanda Sue?
I'm gonna say it's equal. I didn't say they both leave out for work
Now
at the
it's
same
equal?
time. They have
That's
two
not what
different
she
work schedules.
said.
My mom comes back home earlier than my dad, so she has the
Boy.
time to start cooking.
So your
it's
dad
ready.
works more hours. I don't know why we can't just
Did
say
I
that.
say that, or are
You
you? getting
said
lost
they
in
leave the-
translation?
they
I
leave at the
said I
sa-
didn't say that they leave
Okay.
for work at the same time. That's what I
You
said.
said that she works less.
Says she gets home earlier. That's all.
No, you said she works less. Now, I'm not gonna go into this, but the first thing you said, she does not work as much. My mom works less than my dad.
Just clarify, because he
Okay.
gonna stay on this.
She did.
So thank you.
No, but
Thank
I
you.
She did clarify. She did.
Okay, whatever. So now we're going with the notion that they both work the same amount. And then we're going with the. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into it. It's the antics that be here because when they start getting they back again.
I mean,
Yo,
but besides that, what is your actual point?
the
Like,
point
what
is
are you
that
responding
the
to?
point is that the simple fact. Well, I'm assuming that the man is putting in more hours of work, and the more hours of work is really for the household. And if it is, we're not going to say which work is more difficult, but if he's doing more hours of work for a higher paying job, and I'm not saying he
My
is,
parents do the same thing. They met at work. They do the same thing.
that's pretty dope. So now, so your mom is working, cooking, and cleaning.
Yes.
Correct.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Sounds like that's what the standard should be for women then.
Sounds like you're crazy.
No, because okay,
Sounds
thank
like
you,
you're crazy.
thank you. That's all I was saying.
No. What Marie is saying is like that is the standard,
Standard.
meaning that women
Are
bear
expected.
more. Yeah, they bear more of the household and child rearing duties on top of working a regular job, whatever it is they do.
Oh man, there were so many things that were missing from this discussion, particularly the mention of marriage, not live-in girlfriend, because that's no, you lose in that scenario. Too much to lose. Too much. You have no leverage in that situation. Don't do that. Okay, but let's assume that they are married because they use Amanda's parents, I think that's her name, as the example. And it's a great example, too, because they're married, right? Now, one of the things that we have to talk about is we need to establish first this idea of 50-50 marriage. Every marriage is 50-50, right? And let's be clear about something. That distinction is not about money. It's not about bills. It's about responsibilities in the marriage. You're going to take on half the responsibilities. I'm going to take on the rest. So, that relationships are about balance. So if we're balancing the responsibilities, then that's how it's going to work. A lot of times the reasons it doesn't work is because we fail to establish those that outline or those boundaries. All right. And then when things start to fall apart, we don't have a plan to go back to or to get us back on course. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're sitting in divorce court giving up half your stuff. This is why it's important to plan things out in advance. This is also why I say that, it's better to get married when you're younger. Because now you have time, you guys can have time to get to know each other within the marriage and work things out between the two of you before you start bringing kids into the mix. Because then once that happens, everything changes. But it's good that if you give yourself time so that you guys can set a proper foundation so that when the kids come, they're a welcome addition. And, you guys already have a plan as how things are going, an outline of how things are going to flow. So ultimately, what did we learn here? Well, not much realistically, because you get the idea that they brought up, traditional relationships versus a more modern perspective. Women today don't want to be responsible for having that. They don't want to have the responsibility of having to work a full-time job and then taking care of the majority of duties inside the home. If that's where we're at today, then that's fine. This is why I say, as a man, part of your training that you get from other men, from older men, should be being able to survive on your own. Meaning that before you met this woman, you had to know how to wash clothes. Okay, that don't change just because, you get married. You need to know how to cook for yourself. You need to know how to keep your house clean. So these things become important, and ultimately I would say that learning these things when you're single actually gives you more leverage in the relationship. Because most women, let's face it, the number one answer for what can you do for a man? Well, I'll cook and clean for him. Okay, let's take that off the table and let's peel back a layer. The guy already knows how to do that. What are you offering now? You see how this works now? Because this is part of the vetting process. Okay, we get rid of these universal answers that every woman says, right? Or the majority of women say, and start to find out what's this? If I'm going to marry you, what's that actually going to be like? Well, what do you bring to the table? I can be his piece. What does that mean? See, this is what I say when I mean about high level conversations. You learn to do these things. If you learn to do these things as a single guy, then that means you can keep that chip in your back pocket and play it when you need to through the vetting process. Hopefully you do that before you guys move into with each other. Because like I said, moving and have a live-in girlfriend, it's a lose situation for you as a guy. Don't do it. Yeah, it's great because you got access to sex whenever you want, consistent sex whenever you want it. I get that. But the downsides, there are too many things stacked against you in the deck that don't make it worth it. Because again, there is no structure there if you're not inside of a marriage. But look, guys, great conversation. Go check out and subscribe to 8 at the Table. I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.